Hey everyone, 0635 here on Gemmy Master Animatronics, and today I will be talking to you about the restoration of the Gemmy life-size prototype Rockin Guitar Santa. So a lot of you have seen at least the video of it on my channel working and the unboxing video on Gemmy Master Animatronics, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you are still wondering how I got this or how this was even found. So to answer those questions, if anyone who remembers the very first life-size repair I did, which was on a dancing Homer, I'm pretty sure that video is floating around somewhere on YouTube. The guy who owns Homer has the collection, like him with mostly his wife. They both collected Jimmy and like Jimmy animated stuff. And in one photo, while they were sending me photos of their like collection and what they have with some Christmas in the background, I saw the Santa, and I asked them, "Hey, what's that Santa in the background?" And they whatchamacallit, they sent me a closer photo, and the photo you're currently seeing is what I pretty much was shown. And at first I'm like, oh cool, it's the Rockin' Guitar Santa, and I was going to fix it up at one point, but it never went through with him sending it to me. So eventually I had posted the same photo in a group chat that I made with a few friends, and my friend Nick tells me, hey, that's the prototype, and I'm like, is it really? And he goes, yeah, look at the base. And I look at the base and I notice that it's round, and I thought all the Santas had like that because I've never really seen another photo Santa showing its base, and apparently the retail models have their base flat with a button on the shoe, and this one actually has a horror character base. So I messaged the guy about it. He said he still has it, and I was offering him to do a trade or buy it off of him. But he said he would speak to his wife about it, and I told him, hey, if your wife is willing to do the trade or if I can buy it off of her, I'd be willing to just, trade you guys this life-size snowman I have, and it was the 2019 Dancing Snowman. And of course I got a message back saying that his wife said she would pass on it, but I could have the Santa, I would just need to pay shipping. I was very shocked because I was like, okay, well, that doesn't happen every day. So I was really excited with this, and literally I couldn't believe that this was gonna eventually be mine, and I could tell from photos leaning forward, so I wasn't surprised that there was something broken. And of course it didn't come with an adapter because the guy told me that he had lost the adapter. At first he thought he had it, but it actually didn't. I'm like, that's fine, you don't have to test it, because I just didn't want to run the risk of them, overvolting it and killing it. But yeah, they eventually did some in their photo of it with the head off, the guitar on the floor, and I think that was about it. Yep, which you'll be seeing in the next photo. Now, to ensure that this was the actual prototype Santa that would actually bob up and down and not just sway, I had asked the guy if could he send me some photos of the inside, because apparently the shell wasn't even connected. He sent me this particular photo, and I was like, so that's how the mech for it looks. And of course, on behold, it is a prototype after all, because look at that mech, and of course the way it broke, you can see that there's supposed to be like two pieces that pretty much connect to the upper plate of the body, well, that pretty much supports the head and pretty much the entire body frame. If you look in the front piece, it has one part broken, which is actually inside of the shell, which you'll see in the other photo coming up. And in the back, the other one is just broken off clean. So as the days go by, pretty much during this time period when the Santa was initially arriving, I was just starting at Spirit for my third and final year, and I think it was the first day of either being open around there, I believe, or still during sub. The Santa had actually arrived within hours before I had to go to work. Of course, there is an unboxing video of this on GMA, which I'll link it in the description below so you guys can see that. And I was really shocked. Of course, the thing was already popping out, and to my surprise, in the sleeves he actually had the locking pins, but they don't belong to him. But he also had two springs that were in one of his sleeves that go to the bobbing mech to like give it extra suspension. Now, this next clip you're gonna see is where I fix them up a bit to the best I could. The pieces were still original. I didn't know the gears were chipped or anything, but the pieces that were broken I saw in the previous photos, they were both glued, added some baking soda, and they looked fine. Test him, and in this video he's running fine, but then in some other tests I tend to realize he stops at certain points and does not start back up unless I help him, and of course that's where the chipped gears come into place, which you'll see in the photo. And what else? Oh yeah, the Santa also had an issue where his arm had broken off too, and his head only turned one direction, so I replaced a transistor, which I believe in the same clip you're about to see, you'll see his head moving from side to side.
I teach you how to jingle it well. Oh, you gotta jump jingle, then you well, 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 you gotta jump jingle, then you well away.
So as you saw in the clip, he was dancing fine and everything, but everything went downhill until I actually fully assembled him with his guitar on, and the minute he tried to move with the guitar on, I heard cracking, and I immediately took everything off, took them apart, only to discover that the pieces were breaking again because all the glue and the baking soda wasn't holding on properly. So I was like, okay, so what am I going to do about this? And the gears. And of course, I found someone in the robotics community who actually makes parts with resin, like silicone and everything, and I hit her up. She said she'd be willing to do it, and of course the price was a little bit outrageous. I paid about $95 to get the 2 brackets and 2 gears made for this Santa, and of course my mom, like, I really hope this was worth it. Either it was 95 or 85. I feel like it was probably 95, but yeah. Hey everyone, 065 here on Gemmy Master Animatronics, and what we're looking at here is pretty much just a bare bones Gemmy prototype Rockin Santa. If for a lot of you who have been probably wondering why has this taken up so long, is because I had sent the parts to get made. They got made and everything, and I haven't tested them, and they actually just arrived yesterday. So let me show you what all was made. So these are the original parts. This is the bracket piece, which broke alongside here, which I glued in. It did break again at some point. And this is the other piece. That gets a lot of pressure. This was also broken when I initially got it. Glued it, and of course, once I put everything on it to test it, it all just pretty much broke itself. And then here's one of the gears. As you can see, it's missing a tooth, so occasionally it would jam up. Same with this one. Can't really see it, it's right there. And of course, this is one of the locking pieces. This is yellow. This was broken off. Got that remade. So this is the new one. It's all like silicone. It's hard plastic. How to drill the hole through here because it wasn't there. The gears are clear. So he has all the teeth. New lever pieces. If you're wondering, these were not broken. This is actually just because it comes from this one that I fixed up. It seems like very robust. Hopefully it works. Same with this one. This one got remade too. And of course, this is the other gear. So yeah, this thing is gonna hopefully be fully working within just a few, maybe less than an hour or so. Brought up the box that contains his head, his hands, and everything else. And I'm also going to be remaking the labels because on the back of his base. And whatchamacallit? On the back here, he's actually supposed to have some sort of handwritten labels that tell which is volume, which is this, which is that. Which, of course, are all gone. So I bought these so I can remake him. And I'm going to be printing out a Gemmy label for it so he can be complete. But yes, stay tuned for more, guys, and hopefully he works.
Jump jingle, didn't you well you gotta jump jingle, didn't you well way? Baby, looks like it's gonna hail. You better come inside, I'll teach you how to jingle and wail. Oh, you gotta jump jingle, didn't you well? Sleigh, for the fields we go, rocking all the way. Ho, 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 bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing the sleighing song tonight, all right. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. It's simply my color. The blazing youth before us. Strike the jam and join the chorus. Deck the house with boughs of holly. La 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 la. Tis the season to be jolly. La 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 la. Deck the house with boughs of holly. Tis the season to be jolly. Join we now our gay apparel. La 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 la. Throw the ancient Yuletide carol.
So from the clips you can see that everything seems to be working just fine, although he can be used, but the issue is that with his guitar he just cannot dance. Like, the guitar is way too heavy for him, and I'm not too sure if the components are too weak to give him enough power to be able to move like fast enough so he can, like, you know, bounce to the beat with the guitar, or if it's the motor he has that is dying. The motor he takes, it's pretty big, and I have not been able to find one yet of that size, so until I find one, then hopefully he'll start working a lot better like he does in the videos. But pretty much to finish him off, he was supposed to have some sticker labeling on the back of his base and his item number on the front, which I actually got the little sticky notes that they tend to use on these prototypes to label what's on the base. So that's what I did, and of course, you guys can laugh all you want, my handwriting is not the best at all, but I also did print out a little prototype label, stuck it on there just for the sake of it, and of course you'll be seeing that in a few photos, and then you'll see in the final test run. The only thing I'll say is the Santa actually ended up breaking down again, because every time we get stuck, because even with these new parts he would still get stuck, and I was getting tired of it, so I decided to move the gears that move those levers, and I was going to just make him sway. As I was doing and testing it, I guess something went wrong, and as he was dancing I heard a loud snap. He was still going fine, but he was just temporarily skipping from time to time. And from there, he pretty much screwed up his gears, so now when he dances, he just kind of violently shakes side to side from time to time, so I'm hoping it's the gears that got remade that were screwed up and not a legit gear, because if it's a different gear, then well, crap. So there won't be any further updates with the Santa until the future, but I hope you guys enjoyed this restoration, and here are the last clips. I'll see you in the next video.
I'm loading up my toy sack. I jumped into my sleigh. I crawled out to my reindeer. And I was on my way. I think that holidays are the best time. So I look back at my gift. Then I shouted out into the darkness. I said, you ain't seen Santa yet. Baby, you just ain't seen Santa yet. I'll bring you something you're never gonna forget. baby, you just